We've all dealt with this situation. We're excited to get to the lake, and soon we notice there is zero life shallow. Uh-oh. Well, in this video, we're going underwater to look at where all the life went, how the fish position, which is really important for bass anglers, and how to find these areas on your body of water. Well, this part of my lake is normally teeming with life in the shallows. There are rocks near boat ramps, flats, lots of overhanging brush, and access to deeper water, all in a relatively small area. But today, crickets. It was almost eerie how little activity I could see, which in the first part of the fall season is not all that unusual. Well, one thing that filming underwater has taught me is that there are a percentage of fish that don't want to travel any farther than they have to. So I dropped my camera into the water at the first significant drop-off. Once I hit that 12 to 15 foot range, I started to see panfish, which in this body of water is by far and away the primary prey species. And then I dove down deeper, and when I hit that 22 to 24 foot mark, the bass started to show up. If we look from this point of view, we can see that this panfish school is huge. There are hundreds and hundreds of fish swimming around. It doesn't appear that they are relating to anything in particular. In other words, this is a classic example of suspended fish offshore. The vast majority of the bass are holding under the panfish. Once in a while, you would see a small bass swimming through the school, but although none of these bass are giants, they are taking the common predatory position of hanging just below their prey, and here we can actually see it. In this footage, we can even see a walleye doing the same thing. It is also important to note that the thermocline was right around that 25 foot mark. And one thing I often notice is that when I get near the temperature break in the water, a cloud of debris or silt often forms at that point where the colder, more dense water starts. So where would you look in your body of water to try and find life like this when the shallows appear to be void of anything? Well, my first approach, if you have history on the water, is to think back to where you consistently saw life shallow in the past. Like I said earlier, fish often do not move nearly as far away as we think. Are there bass that will migrate those really long distances? Well, absolutely. But I want to try and stick with the ones that prefer to be homebodies. Pull up your lake on Google Earth or a topo map and look for that area that drops off quickly. I try to avoid slow tapering flats. I want that abrupt change. This will keep fish closer to the old shoreline, and it lets me investigate both areas quicker, or that transition area, a lot quicker. I also like to use small finesse baits as my searching tool, partly because I'm looking for any life. If I get some nibbles from panfish, perfect. I've found life, and that is the clue I'm looking for. I can then switch to something else if I want, knowing that the majority of the bass will be hanging below that group of prey, whether it's panfish or shad. Hey, if you like this type of topic, if you like these types of videos, check out my bass behavior bundle. I've got 32 videos on there. It goes into depth of lots of different bass behaviors. And hey, if you want to watch a video that talks about throwing open hook lures into vegetation and just how effective that can be, go ahead and check this one out right here. Oh, I see my dog in the back. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.